Imagine this. You're hiking a trail that weaves through literally thousands of islands for 270 kilometers. That's the Stockholm Archipelago Trail. It's absolutely breathtaking, but if you're a visitor, it's also a massive logistical puzzle. So that gets us to the big question, right? How do you, as a hiker who doesn't speak Swedish, even begin to tackle this epic journey? I mean, how are you supposed to find drinking water or catch the right ferry or figure out where you can camp when everything's scattered across different websites and mostly in another language?
So in this explainer, we're going to build the ultimate digital toolkit for the trail, piece by piece. We'll look at the challenge, go way beyond a basic map, build a data-driven dashboard, tap into the power of the crowd, and see how we can make information borderless. And finally, we'll talk about what this means for the future of hitting the trail.
Okay, let's dive right in. The thing about this trail is that it isn't one long path. It literally hops from island to island. That means you're constantly dealing with ferry schedules that can change. Yeah, the official website gives you GPX tracks, and that's a decent start, but it's totally static. You really need something that's as alive and dynamic as the archipelago itself.
And this is the classic problem we always run into, isn't it? A traditional guidebook or a static website, they just can't keep up. It's basically outdated the second it's printed. What we're talking about here is a modern digital ecosystem, something that's living, breathing, and powered by real-time community info that, and this is key, can speak your language.
So where do we even begin building this toolkit? Well, you start with the first and most important layer, the foundation, the map itself. But we're not just using any old map app. We're going to a seriously powerful tool called OpenStreetMap, or OSM for short. If you've never heard of it, think of OpenStreetMap as the Wikipedia of maps. It's built and updated by a huge global community of volunteers. And what that means is that it is jam-packed with the kind of nitty-gritty details that hikers absolutely live for. We're talking the specific type of trail, its current condition, and even how difficult it is.
And this is where it gets really cool. Check out how OSM shows you how tough a trail is, using what's called the SAC scale. You see that solid line? That's your easy-breezy walk, great for just about anyone. But a dotted line, or especially a thin dotted line, well, that's a clear heads up that you're about to get into some serious territory for experienced hikers with the right gear. So this isn't just a map anymore, it's a critical decision-making tool.
All right, so let's add our next layer. A map of the trail is fantastic. But what about all the practical stuff? You know, the things you actually need to survive and be comfortable. Where do you fill up your water bottle? Where's the nearest toilet? Or where can you buy some food?
This is where a data-driven dashboard becomes your best friend on the trail. We can pull in all this structured data and just overlay it right on top of our OpenStreetMap foundation. And we're talking about everything: ferry stops, water sources, emergency defibrillators, heck, even where you can rent a kayak. It's all the crucial information you need right there in one spot.
But you know, a trail is so much more than just lines on a map and data points. It's a human experience. So for our third layer, we're adding that human element. We're talking photos, stories, and those real-time tips from the amazing community of hikers who've already been there.
And this is where you really see the power of the crowd. Get this, on Wikimedia Commons alone, there are over 5,000 photos of this trail. They're all geotagged and sorted, so what does that mean for you? It means you can basically scout the entire trail visually from your couch before you even pack. You get a real feel for what you're getting into.
And then you've got the social layer, like the unofficial Facebook group for the trail. This is where you find absolute gold, the kind of advice no official guide could ever give you. You get up-to-the-minute info on ferry schedules, or tips like, which bakery has the best cinnamon buns. This is the living, breathing pulse of the trail.
Okay, so we've got our map, our data dashboard, and all these amazing community insights. But we still have that one big problem we started with, the language barrier. How do we make all of this incredible information useful for everyone, no matter what language they speak?
Well, the answer, and our fourth and final layer, is something called Wikidata. If OpenStreetMap is the Wikipedia of maps, then Wikidata is the Wikipedia of data. It's this enormous multilingual database that doesn't store information as words, but as universal concepts.
And this, right here, is the magic. This is the secret sauce. By using Wikidata as the central hub, all the information becomes language agnostic. A ferry stop isn't stored as the Swedish word brygga or the English word pier. It's stored as one unique idea, which then has labels for it in dozens of languages. It's the engine that powers the whole system, feeding the right names and details to our map in your language. And here's the result. Just look at this. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a campsite in English, or German, or French, or Chinese, the system just pulls the same core data and shows it to you in your language. And just like that, the language barrier has basically vanished.
So, what happens when we stack all these layers together? What do we get? Well, we've turned a flat, static map into a living, intelligent guide that's deeply personal. It's a system that truly empowers any hiker from anywhere in the world to go out and confidently explore this incredible landscape. And it gives us a blueprint for the future.
And here's the real key takeaway. This whole thing isn't just about one amazing trail in Sweden. It's a 3-step recipe, a model for how we can build better, more accessible travel information for anywhere on Earth. You start with open data, structure it all with the knowledge graph, and then you enrich it with the power and passion of the community.
You know, this whole approach of mixing open data with real human knowledge, it completely changes the game for explorers everywhere. And it really leaves you with one final thought. If you have this kind of powerful, intuitive guide in your pocket for any trail on the entire planet, where would you go first?